Have you ever told yourself, I'm only going to watch one video? Just one. 20 minutes later, you've learned why octopuses have 3 hearts, why sharks are older than trees, how ancient Romans brushed their teeth, and somehow, you're emotionally invested in a guy restoring a rusty shovel. Meanwhile, the one thing you actually planned to do today hasn't moved an inch, not even a little. It's almost like your brain will do literally anything except the one thing you asked it to do. It'll clean your desk, organize your desktop, check the fridge. Twice. Nothing changed. The cheese is still there. So what's going on? Are we actually lazy? Or is something much stranger happening? Because here's the weird part, the hardest part of almost any task. Isn't finishing it. It isn't even doing it. It's simply starting. And your brain has a surprisingly good reason for making that first step feel so difficult. Think about the last time you cleaned your house. Before you started, it felt awful. You stared at the mess. Your brain acted like you'd been asked to move Mount Everest. Then, 20 minutes later, you're cleaning behind the sofa, vacuuming places nobody has seen since 2018. Who is this person? Where did this motivation come from? It didn't suddenly appear. Something else changed. Imagine pushing a car. At first, nothing. You push harder. Still nothing. Then, it rolls. A little more. And suddenly, the exact same car feels lighter. It isn't. You're just no longer fighting. The hardest part, getting it moving. Tasks work exactly the same way. The beginning always feels heavier than the middle. But why? Because your brain is obsessed with saving energy. Not because it's lazy, because for most of human history, energy meant survival. Imagine Steve. Steve sees everyone carrying logs back to camp. He says, I'll help later. Instead, he spends the afternoon throwing rocks into a river. Steve is having a fantastic day until night comes. Everyone else has a fire. Steve has excellent stone-skipping skills. Your brain learned a simple lesson. Don't waste energy unless you absolutely have to. The problem? Your brain never got the memo. That opening Excel isn't life-threatening. Today, your biggest danger isn't chasing food. It's replying to an email, starting a workout, making a phone call, doing your taxes. Your brain treats all of them like expensive investments, so it looks for cheaper options. Scroll, snack, watch one more video, check your phone. Again, somehow, you know exactly what's happening, and you still do it. Which is honestly impressive. Here's where things get interesting. The moment you finally begin, everything changes. One sentence turns into a page. One push-up turns into a workout. I'm just going to wash one plate turns into, well, I might as well do the rest. Your brain stops arguing because the transition is over. Now you're moving. And brains love momentum. That's why waiting to feel motivated usually doesn't work. Motivation often shows up after you've already started, not before. We've had it backwards the whole time. People think motivation creates action. But more often, action creates motivation. That's why successful people don't always feel like working. They've just learned how to get past those first few seconds. So next time your brain says, I'll do it later, don't promise yourself you'll finish everything. Promise yourself you'll start. Open the document, put on your running shoes, wash one plate, read one page. Because your brain isn't trying to stop you, it's trying to save energy. The funny part is, once you begin, it usually realizes the danger never existed. And that's the moment everything starts moving. Because sometimes the smallest step is the one your brain was afraid of all along. If you want more content like this, please subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one.